My name is Jonathan Paz, and I am the director of the By Students for Students campaign. This year, we've embarked upon an extremely ambitious initiative where we have visited schools across the state to help inform middle schoolers on the consequences of dropping out.
Kids who drop out of high school earn $1 million less in a lifetime than those who finish high school and go on to college. It is 61% harder to get a job. And recent reports show that high school dropouts are 8 times more likely to end up in prison.
The idea actually focused around the power of information. If we could actually inform these kids, let them know the consequences of dropping out, let them know that they're more likely to go to jail, they're more likely to depend on government money if they drop out, then maybe they'll actually consider the idea of dropping out and not take the step and not take the risk. So I thought, why don't we travel and visit these middle schools to 7th and 8th graders, even 6th graders, and talk to them about dropping out, talk to them about what high school really is like, and get them to know the consequences of dropping out, and more importantly, motivate them for their future education, motivate them for what they may actually need for their future goals or their future careers and what they may actually pursue.
Yeah.
We introduced them to two characters, kind of to give them show them a parallel between someone who stays in school and someone who drops out. Their names are Kevin and Joe. Kevin is the one who actually drops out, and Joe is the one who actually pursues who actually goes to college. And Kevin turns out to, it begins with middle school. And in middle school, they're both excited.
Hello? Who's there?
Joe is actually nervous about fitting into high school and into the, cliques that he may think that there are.
Well, I'm gonna be the youngest in the school, and I'm just a little nervous that I won't fit into any of the cliques.
In high school, Joe is actually doing pretty well. He gets an A in his test.
Got an A-. High school's not that hard.
And Kevin, on the other hand, is not as motivated as he used to be. He's sleeping in class.
Not so good, I guess. Who cares? Doesn't matter anyways.
By seeing how their work ethics are different, students see. We're not just telling them. They see the difference between someone who's more motivated in high school and someone who's less motivated in high school.
School is miserable for me.
From thereafter, we actually get to see Joe, who actually, his hard work paid off. He goes to college, and he actually is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I'm in college. I love it. It's so much different than high school.
And then you get to see Kevin, who was actually in his mom's basement playing video games, and he ends up dropping out and is having a hard time looking for a job.
Yeah, I'm still with my parents for now. I'm gonna try and get some money and rent an apartment or something.
Kevin!
Yeah, Ma!
Your dinner's ready.
Are we having meatloaf again?
Yeah.
By the end of the presentation, we actually have a video of Joe walking into a restaurant, well suited, and it's only music playing.
We cut the legs off of our pants, threw our shoes into the ocean, slid back and went through the daylight, slid back and went through the daylight, slid slide on subway grades, these shoes are poor man's ice.
And the idea behind that is Joe becomes who he wants to be. He becomes successful. He becomes the person that he aspired to be and he worked for.
You like changing the daylight, you like changing the daylight, I miss your both lines in my road, so that I'm gonna grow. Maybe I'll paint them in myself, 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 maybe I'll paint them in.
We don't really show the middle schoolers where Kevin is. we leave it to their imagination to find out after we gave them some of the facts about people who actually drop out of high school. The idea here is that we show a comparison between someone who actually worked hard and got where they wanted to be in life and someone who dropped out and, you know, the rest is history. The neat element we actually wanted to use was actually having real people who actually dropped out. Instead of just telling them not to drop out, we wanted to show them why they shouldn't drop out.
Well, by the age of 17 I dropped out. Maybe a year later I got pregnant.
Actually, up until my sophomore or junior year was the first time I ever skipped school, and after that I just liked it and kept doing it, and then I actually went back to school and decided to do the right thing, and I was arrested 11 days before I was supposed to graduate my senior year.
My parents were never involved, so I kind of took my own path. That was kind of my own decision. If I could ever go back and change it, I definitely would.
We hope that through these testimonies they'd be able to really understand the struggle of actually taking the step and dropping out.
I should say stick it through and get that high school diploma so you can go to college and get a job and not be working your butt off for basically nothing.
An integral part of the campaign was the help of the State Advisory Council. They were the driving force behind everything that we actually did. They helped put together the script, they helped create the concept of Kevin and Joe, and they actually helped basically establish everything around, all the little details that needed to get done for our presentation.
So I have each of those pop up, and then I have a person from each, you know what I mean? I have a person from Central, Greater Boston, South, Northeast, all of those. I have them all pop up and like wave. And then that's all I have. And then it goes into like, we represent you, and then it shows like a little ladder of where, like, how everything gets done. So that's pretty much that. So I'm working on that.
They helped set up calls, to call schools, contact middle schools, and basically they helped present the presentation in itself. Some problems that arose that actually present themselves throughout the months of September to December and thus forward, where the fact that the State Advisory Council only meets once a month.
Hey!
What are you guys doing?
Are you videotaping? Taping us? We're working on the script. Yeah, we're gonna have to ask you to leave. This is confidential stuff.
And we needed to meet more frequently in order to get more work done between meetings, so it's kind of hard. The State Advisory Council has members from across the state, and for us to meet in one spot that would accommodate to everyone is quite the hard task to do. So we had to set up some meetings, work around people's schedules, and see if we can get as many people as possible on board. But eventually people kind of got in the rhythm of meeting more frequently, and they understood that we actually needed to get a lot of stuff done before we could actually go visit these middle schools. So that was quite a bit of a challenge. At the end of the day, after getting everything prepared and ready, after all the preparation and working with everything we have, we managed to talk to middle schools and actually have them agree to actually have us visit them, and we managed to visit and talk to over 1,500 kids. We visited schools with campaign buttons, brochures, pamphlets with statistics. We even had a student survival guide for them to look into different sources where they can receive support. For the most part, the kids enjoyed it. They had a great time. We made sure that it was fun and entertaining and that they could easily pay attention to it and at the same time understand our message. What we were able to do at the end of the day was actually help these kids at least look further down the road and see where they want to see themselves in the future. The beauty of the campaign lies in the fact that it is not just this year where we will actually visit schools, but the leadership in the council looks forward to future years and continue this initiative and continue changing the lives of students across the state. I would like to thank AT&T for making this a reality. I would like to thank my advisors for all their support, their patience, their love, especially the State Student Advisory Council. Everyone's work and commitment finally paid off, and anyone else who was involved in this campaign. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future.
I don't want to drop out, like, now that I see it, because how it really impacted their lives and how they don't get their friends anymore, and I really can't go through life without friends.
It really changed my view on how high school was. Both my older brothers have dropped out, but now my oldest one has come back and graduated again. So I pretty much knew I was going to graduate, but it kind of helps knowing about this stuff.
My thoughts on it were, like, I didn't think it was going to be that big of a problem if someone had dropped out of high school, but now that I see it, it could have a big impact on your life, and I have family experience with that. Like, I have older siblings that had planned to drop out and came back and had their GED.